Welcome everyone to the Radio Toons podcast. How's it going?
It's going good, man.
I'm Steve.
I'm Ernie.
Happy October.
Rocktober?
Happy, Inktober, Kinktober, whatever you guys celebrate.
Whoa.
That's real.
Inktober.
That's real, apparently.
You're kidding.
It's like Inktober, but they draw like boobs or whatever.
So it's Inktober with a little kink.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Stinktober, that's not real. So if anybody tells you that, that's not real. But how's it going? I hope everything's good. Mm-hmm. October's finally upon us. It's time for Halloween. It's time for all that spooky crap. Mm-hmm. I don't know about you, Ernie, but I feel like Halloween is a little overhyped. I feel like every single year, people are more and more excited for Halloween. Do you feel that?
Well, I'm always excited for Halloween, so this is
right. Because you make your costume, and now for your son, you make your costume for your son now.
Sure.
And stuff. I know people that don't do shit on Halloween and are just like, hell yeah, October, I'm so down. Like, I'm like, okay, maybe it's because it's like once October hits, it's like the end of the year, and it's like basically I'm in it for Thanksgiving and fucking Christmas. I love Christmas so much. Christmas is my favorite.
Cindy and I, speaking of Christmas, Cindy and I bought our like yearly Christmas ornament, which is like this
annual
little town that lights up and plays all these different Christmas songs, and there's a little train that goes around it. It's huge.
Those are cool. Yeah.
We have nowhere to put it. Like, we can't help ourselves. We love that stuff.
Yeah, I know. I you know what? I always go to when I go to Savers or like a thrift store, I always see those because some old lady will always die and just leave all of those like to her grandchildren or something, and they'll sell them, or like they'll just give them away to Savers.
Steve, that's really morbid.
Well, I always see those, and I'm like, I kind of want to buy them, except one fucking piece of those thing is like fucking $50.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I'm not going to take it away from the display there. Like, they look nice all together. So it's like, what am I going to do with one?
See, that's the thing with
one child skating in a figure eight. What am I going to do with that? You need the. You
need to start going to either Costco, like right around. By the way, if anybody is gearing up for Christmas, go to Costco right now.
Yeah.
Because they got all the Christmas stuff up along with the Halloween stuff, but they have the Christmas stuff out for kind of cheap right now.
You know what's weird? Honestly, like, it's not that I'm not excited for Halloween. It's just that
I'm super excited.
Once like May hits, it's just nonstop. Like, as far as I'm concerned, it's like birthdays and then like all the shit. Like, I'm constantly spending money all the way to the end of the year.
No. Not to throw it on top of you, but once your birthday hits, all the birthdays start to hit.
Yeah, exactly.
In our family, it's just like you. Then dad, and then her dad, and then Cindy's father's dad, and then like there's just so many people that go all the way to the end of the year.
Yeah, and actually it dawned on me like at my job right now, like 4 people had like birthdays the same week I had my birthday. I was like, I don't feel special anymore. Fuck this. No, but like when your birthday hits like in August, then it's like it's truly like just like snowball effect. Like it just. And then all the way to like Christmas, where we have to buy for like fucking 20 family members of ours, and one friend. No, I'm just kidding. I have
and which friend will it be this year?
I have one friend. I make coupons. I'm good.
This is good for one back rub. Here you go.
But yeah, and Overwatch. That's the game I was thinking about. They're having their Halloween thing next week, so. Maybe
you think it'll be kind of the same deal? Because the last few years...
Yeah, they always Halloweenify in a certain map to look spooky. And, they got a couple skins. They always got to throw a couple skins at you.
I feel like they always do a great job during Halloween, especially for their, like, costumes.
Especially during Halloween?
Yeah. Because they do have, like, for example, I think it was last year... one of the guys was like a nutcracker, essentially a nutcracker.
Pinata,
was it? Yeah. And I was like, that's a cool costume.
That was for Christmas. He was a nutcracker.
Yeah. So like they all have kind of costumes in December, but they're really good costumes are in October because it can be something spooky.
No, I think they have pretty good skins all year long. What's funny though is like, or I guess not funny. it's kind of crazy that they even mentioned this during one of the developer updates. Like, they'll just put up videos on their YouTube channel that's like, here's what's coming up, like, change-wise.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, patches and stuff like that affect characters and stuff.
Right.
Jeff Kaplan, the director of, I believe he's the director or something, but he was talking about all these changes to Torbjorn.
Okay.
They're going to change up Torbjorn a lot because he's basically... A lot of people think he's useless in the game right now.
Okay.
So they're changing him up a lot. But he actually went into the fact that, like, the reason that they're focusing... Or the reason that some of the skins for the summer games this year were not as good was because that they were focusing a lot of their attention on stuff that people were asking for as far as, like...
Balancing?
Yeah, like balance changes and, like, just little things to the actual gameplay experience. Like being able to find a group, just being able to find a group with like random people before you start a game, or the what do they call the I forget what they're called, endorsements or something like that, where you get to vote for who was good on your team. Like
yeah, like MVP stuff at the end of this match. Okay.
Yeah. So really, like, I just wanted to point out how cool it was that they're actually like they speak to the community that much,
right?
To the point where they're like, I know the summer games didn't have that many skins, but it's just because we're focusing on a lot on like the background stuff of Overwatch, you know, and big changes to Torbjorn, because they completely changed Symmetra around.
Oh wow!
Recently,
okay,
they made her really good. So I was just like, that's cool, man. This is the kind of attention to detail that any competitive game should have, you know, like. I was gonna say Overwatch.
Overwatch has that kind of attention to detail.
Capcom should honestly take a cue from this, and like any kind of balance change they're gonna do, like just I don't know, make a video with the director, like, you know, talking about what's changing or like what kind of feedback they got from people. Like, just the whole point of like competitive stuff is the community. That's what makes the money.
Right.
So just put all of your focus into making them happy. Like.
I mean, I think community is important for a game to do what Overwatch has done. How old is it now? Like 3 years old?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and it's still going and it's still being bought to this day.
And I say that specifically for competitive games too, you know, because it's like other games, it's like let the director do whatever the fuck he wants, all right? Like, but for games where it's completely community driven and they're the ones that have to play your game for like hours upon hours,
right
after the fact, like. You know, let them have some input. It makes sense. You know, it's only natural that they would give a shit about it. But yeah, that was all I wanted to say about Overwatch. I'm really excited for that.
But the Lego Overwatch.
Oh, Lego Overwatch. I forgot about that. So
Steven doesn't know everything about Overwatch.
I don't know everything. They announced Lego Overwatch. This was hinted at a while back, actually.
But is it going to be like an actual melee situation, sorry, not a melee, but like a battle thing, or is it going to be like, hey, let's run through levels and do? Because that's kind of because all the Lego games up until this point have all been like adventure-based ones.
Oh, it's not a game. I'm talking about actual Legos. They're gonna make real Lego people.
That's funny.
Like sets. So Aaron on from Game Grumps on Twitter was like, he was like, I'm calling it now. They're gonna have like Route 66 with the McCree and like a Soldier 76, and then they're gonna have King's Row with Tracer and Widow. Like, basically,
he already knows what they are. Why does he got a front?
He's got the insider info. No,
come on, dude. Of course, somebody told him. I
don't know. Maybe.
Aaron, I'm not saying he's like the most famous guy in the world, but I'm certain he has a lot of friends at Blizzard.
Either way, I'm pretty excited for this, just because I would like to see what they look like.
Good luck getting his sets, dude.
Because, you know, like, whenever they do Lego stuff, it's always interesting to see, like, how they use Lego pieces that already exist in other ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That was actually one of the coolest parts of the Lego movie, was seeing how they used existing Lego blocks to do things.
That's why it was cool when you saw their what is it? I don't know what they called it, but essentially it was their like master builder vision. Yeah. Because whenever they saw a brick, they saw the number on top of it.
Yeah.
That it's labeled, and they were able to put it all together.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is, I hope they don't like they don't just make new pieces just for this set. You know, they're like,
if
I want to see what
well,
they
no,
use.
because if you remember back when we watched The Toys That Made Us, they went through a part of Lego where they were like, we were just making pieces to fit anything, and it really cut into our budget because then we were making these new molds.
Yeah,
things.
exactly.
It's like,
so it would be harder for the creators, but it'd be less cost effective ultimately for them to just do something a little more creative than just like, oh, let's just mold this fucking block piece to look like the train in Route 66 or something. You know what I'm saying?
Although I will say, if they decide to give like Tracer her guns or Soldier 76 his gun,
I think those
are fine.
Yeah,
those are fine because it's like, okay, it's a gun. Like, what are you supposed to do?
That's what I'm wondering too. Is like how much detail they'll put into it, because Overwatch characters have a shitload of detail. Like, I mean, is McCree just gonna have a cowboy hat, or is he gonna have a cowboy hat with his little badge on it that has like the little cuts in it? You know,
I don't think so. I think it's just gonna be a generic ass hat.
Is it gonna?
But it's gonna his like print on the front of it is gonna say Bamf.
Is he? Can they put that on Lego? I don't think they can put that.
It doesn't say anything bad technically.
Are they gonna give him his poncho, or is it just gonna be a cape and you gotta flip it around the front?
No, I think they'll give him his poncho. And I think what they'll do is make his make one of the arms like silver because of his like metal arm or whatever. I mean, it's doable. It's totally doable.
They haven't. I think the only one they've actually shown off was Tracer. Mm-hmm. They had this really cheesy little teaser trailer of Jeff.
That's why I thought it was a Lego game.
No, of Jeff playing with like he puts together like the little Tracer brick, and then it comes to life, and he's like, he's all surprised that it came out. It's great, dude. I love that guy. It's pretty funny though. But yeah, so they also like, I don't even know if this is worth talking about, but like, because they're putting out a lot of merchandise right now for Overwatch. Mm-hmm. Like, they're just going head for, like, not that there wasn't
already. Going bonkers.
Me and my friend went to Target the other day, and we saw that they had like Overwatch Halloween stuff. Right?
Like what?
They had Genji's sword.
Oh yeah, you told me about
this. And it was like it felt cheap, obviously.
Because it's a smaller sword too.
But the mold looked good, and the detail was actually there. Like, the colors were correct, and it was only $10. I was like, dude, I would actually like to buy this and just swing it around my room like an idiot, which I should have done because it wasn't there the next week.
Of course not. Kids love me some. The three things that are going to be like big this year, I think, are Fortnite
for sure. You know what I heard actually? Okay, list them off.
Fortnite, Overwatch, and Stranger Things are going to be like the big things, I think. Well, not Stranger Things.
I don't know about Stranger Things, and I don't know about Overwatch. Like, Overwatch maybe for like, I don't know, because like, Fortnite for sure. I already know that one for sure because I was actually listening to the Mega 64 podcast, and Derek from Mega 64 was saying he went into like a Spirit Halloween store mid-September, and that right when he went in there, like one of the girls like that worked there was just like, hey, I don't know if you like Fortnite, but we're gonna get Fortnite stuff tomorrow. So if you want to be here in the morning, you know, because we already sold out of our last shipment. So if you want to get like mid fucking September, dude.
Wow.
Fortnite stuff is flying off the shelves.
But Fortnite, it's weird that they say that because Fortnite is like...
Isn't it like a generic game? Can't you just
It's not as that it's generic. Is that there's nothing... Well, I guess in some respects you're right. I guess generic
what's defining about it?
No, it's just like a certain shirt, a certain set of pants, a pickaxe, but like the pickaxe and parachutes that you get... Like, that's why kids play it so much, is they want better versions of them, even though they do the exact same thing. But like, look, my parachute has rainbows coming out the back, or like my pickaxe isn't really a pickaxe, it's a space pickaxe. You know, it's like, it's weird. But all that stuff you could buy yourself somewhere else. Like, it doesn't necessarily need to be branded Fortnite. You could dress up in an army shirt, some pants, and boots.
I'm always surprised people were really into that stuff. Like, I love customization, don't get me wrong. But I remember, like, seeing, like, when I would watch people play Rocket League, their car would look fucking hideous. Like,
you know what's crazy?
It would have, like, a sombrero on, and, like, the exhaust would be, like, glittery, like, space dust or something. And
That's really funny.
I'm like, this is fucking hideous. Like, why would you want this on your car?
I was playing Fortnite when it was still free, like as a free beta thing. No, like when it was the free beta, and like you couldn't buy the first beta. I mean, technically, it's not. I don't think it's a full release game. I don't think anyway. But it was like you couldn't customize your character other than switching their pickaxe and their parachute. Now it's like you can custom make your guy or girl and switch out their costumes between matches and stuff. Like, it's crazy.
They all look dumb as fuck. They're like,
Steve,
everything's mismatched. I don't understand. Whatever.
It's part of the charm, so that when you're doing your dance,
you're
doing your Fortnite dance, you look great.
Okay. Sure.
I think the other big one's gonna be Avengers, since it was like the big blockbuster.
I think
movie.
Marvel stuff will do good. I was telling you earlier when we were playing Spider-Man, Spidey, right?
Yeah.
Spidey's got to be big. I would think so. Maybe not. Maybe people don't want a whole suit like that. Maybe it's.
I mean, I think you're completely right, because not only do we get Spider-Man in Avengers, but we also got Spider-Man 4 for PS4. Or Spider-Man on the PS4, which is like, they pushed that freaking hard, man.
And it did. It was like one of the fastest selling PS4. I think it was the fastest selling PS4 game or something.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, like Spider-Man is a fucking big franchise, dude. People love that guy. Like they're not shy about it.
So, no, they're not anymore.
No, supposedly there's other stuff too. There's like a cheap diva gun, and there's like a whole Mercy outfit. There's a whole bunch of costumes already.
I believe it.
Yeah. I don't know if it's just me though. I have always hated Halloween stores. I walk into these fucking Halloween stores
because everything's gross.
They smell like shit. The Halloween stores never smell good.
No, because first of all, they don't have air conditioning in those things, so everybody's sweating the whole time.
It's
just like everybody's tearing through things, and like everything is set up temporarily. It's just like it's an awful job. It's an awful place to go, but like it's.
I remember when me and my friends would go to Halloween stores.
You make so much money off of one of those things.
When we would go to Halloween stores, like, in high school, we would just we would go, like, the day of, right? Mm-hmm. We would have, like, some beers or something, and we'd go in there, and we would just steal, like, stupid shit, because it was a mess. It was complete chaos in those stores, and, like, even sometimes there would be lines to go in, and you had to, like, wait in line before you could go in or whatever. It's just that's what Halloween still is to me. It's like this trashy holiday where people put on shitty costumes and they go out and they get drunk and like they fuck around.
I mean, I think for me it's more like a because we didn't really go trick or treating when we were kids. So I think it's a lot of me recapturing some of my childhood.
No, definitely. Like the past, like I did. You go ahead and open that, or yeah. The past like 5 years maybe. I've been going with you and my other niece and my nephew, and we've been going out and just like getting candy like normal people do, right?
It's fun.
And yeah, it's been pretty cool. I've always tried to theme my costume with my niece. There was one year where I was Dipper from Gravity Falls because she was Mabel, and then I forget the other costumes, but there was one year I was Prince Eric.
She was Ariel.
There was.
I don't think you did it last year.
I think I just put on the Mario Odyssey hat.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm fucking,
me and my wife did, like, our kid dressed up as a little shark, and I was like an eaten up surfer, and she was a lifeguard.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. I went trick or treating with my friends when I was a kid. I don't know about you, Ernie, but
I didn't. I think by the time it was allowed, I think you were the only one that went trick or treating.
I remember our family was very anti-Halloween when we were little.
Very anti-Halloween.
There was like you know what though? It was like, I remember seeing pictures of mom and dad like hosting a Halloween party in like the fucking 70s or whatever.
And then I was dressed up. I was dressed up as a little cowboy.
You were like a baby or something.
Yeah.
And then like once like they started going to church or something, they were like, hey, it turns out it's evil. So we're not going to do
candy for you.
Yeah, guys. So it's like we're not going to do Halloween for like 4 years. And then I think it wasn't until like I was in 3rd grade where they were just like, I wouldn't give a shit anymore. Like do whatever you want.
Yep.
So yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
But by that time I was well past that age. So I was like, if I was, we started going to a friend's Halloween party and just doing that at that point. But it's just not the same as like going door to door and trick or treating, you know.
Yeah, we tried to do that in high school too. Like freshman year was like the
That's like the last year you can really go.
It was like, you know, that time in your life when it's kind of ironically cool to do something that's like a little younger, you know? If that makes any sense what I just said. That's what we did, and it was like, okay, it's fucking... Yeah, it's not cool when you think about it now, but let me tell you. But yeah,
speaking of spooky things, Steve.
What's spooky, Ernie?
Well, I don't know if you guys know, but by the time you're going to hear this, I believe most of the world will have seen Venom.
Yeah, that's right.
It's kind of a scary, spooky... It's not really a scary, spooky movie, but...
I just saw all that shit today, dude.
Yeah, it's not been getting great reviews.
Yeah, there was actually a headline that I saw that was like, Venom could possibly be the worst movie... Or what was it? The dumbest movie ever made or something like that.
The dumbest movie ever made?
Yeah, which is so ridiculous to me. Because it sounds like an exaggeration. But then I'm seeing all these other headlines that are just like, it sucks. It's not good. Don't go watch this movie. There was one that had like quotes from like, what did it say? It was like critical failure or something crazy like that. They were using like these really harsh terms to describe it basically. So I'm very curious that I was telling Ernie before the podcast, I think we have to watch it now because that makes it sound so fucking terrible that I really want to watch it now.
You know, it's funny that like I kind of knew it was going to be terrible just because of how they were advertising it. The advertisement seemed very like one way, and then because it's like the theme or the slogan is the world has enough superheroes, right? Yeah. But Tom Hardy's character is like, he's not necessarily trying to be a supervillain,
right? But
the symbiote is making him be a supervillain. So it's like, where's the conflict? That he's trying to fight it, or that because it looks like it's just taking over him at that point. You know, so like the pictures of him are like half the evil symbiote is like smiling like an evil symbiote, and then the other half is like Eddie getting taken by, and he's like, oh. And I'm like, what is this advertisement? He's like, why doesn't he just be bad?
They look like Scarface to me.
Yeah, a little bit, yeah, because it's like half black, half white in like the background. But like when Venom originally came out, like in like Spider-Man and everything, he's like trying to get revenge on all these people who wronged him. Why didn't you just make it about that? That movie
is that not
works.
What it's gonna be?
No, it looks like he's like trying to stop the symbiote from killing everybody who hates it. And it's just like, wait, like, you're a supervillain. Act like a supervillain then.
You know what kind of sucks, honestly, is that, like, I feel like now that they're doing this, Marvel's not going to want to do it, you know? Like,
oh, they'll do it.
You think so?
Oh, they'll do it.
I mean, I would hope so, honestly, but I feel like it's going to be a case of, like, this movie comes out and it bombs, and then like a year later from now, if they announce something Venom, people are gonna be like, we're kind of still hurt from the last film.
Think about it this way: Sony did Spider-Man all the way to 3, and that tanked.
They did
like the third one.
They did 5 Spider-Man movies.
But hold on, the 1, 2, and 3,
sure,
right? And it was bad. So they're like, you know what? We're gonna revamp it with Mr. Garfield, and they did 2. And that was terrible, so they're like, screw it, let's just give it to Marvel. They buy everything. And then when they bought it, they made a movie because they're like, we know how to do Spider-Man right.
And now they're like, we're going to do Venom.
Exactly. They're going to be like, man, Venom's terrible. Here, you guys can have him. He's like, do whatever you want. I was like, okay. By the way, just a little side note. I heard my friend Meredith, she said, hey, I think there's a Tom Holland cameo in it.
Really?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Or some sort of mention, or there's some sort of, like, they're not connected in any sort of way. That is the official statement. They're not connected. But she said there's something, it's either a joke or a line or something, and Tom Holland may come out in the movie. So I was
he's like a nerd at a computer.
He's like,
he's online, and he's like, you're always on. He's like, yeah, you know what, you kid,
you're always on the World Wide Web.
Yeah, you're always on the World. You're a web head. I'm gonna call you that from now, a web head. And he like he messes up his hair or something.
Oh my!
And then he looks at the camera, and they focus on him.
Have you seen the movie?
Because they paid a lot of money for
Have you seen that movie?
No, I haven't. I already told you. We already discussed this. This has to happen in the movie, okay? He's watching that 70s show, right?
Wow.
And then Topher Grace comes on the screen, and then like
he
Venom,
punches it.
Yeah, his Venom arm like comes out and like spikes into the TV and destroys it, and he's just like, I fucking hate that 70s show. And then that's the whole scene.
Wow.
You know,
the throwback to part 3?
Yeah, just a little wink or like a little middle finger to Topher Grace. You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of that, is just a step away from that just a minute, because I think it's conclusive that this movie's going to be bad, but you know how Steven is. When it's bad, he wants to watch
it. Yeah, exactly. I want him to watch it, so...
they're going to be re-releasing Deadpool 2.
In theater?
Or Deadpool, sorry. But they're going to release it as a PG-13 movie.
Really?
From what I understand, it's like they're going to try to recut Deadpool to be PG-13.
Because they realized, hey, we lost a lot of money by not showing this to children, because children are the main fans of Deadpool, in my opinion. You know what they should do? You put Deadpool in Fortnite. There you go, dude. Where's Epic Games CEO? Let me get
that license is probably really expensive now.
Call Ryan Reynolds.
It's the whole thing where they're just trying to make money off of all these different superheroes, but they don't know what makes the superhero movie work.
Wait, hold on. What was the point of bringing that up? That you think it's going to be bad if it's PG-13?
No, I think that they're doing I believe Venom is rated PG-13 as well, right?
Yeah, it is.
It's like a PG-13 movie will always make more money than an R-rated film because half the audience is gone.
Right.
Right? So they're like, well, Deadpool did a lot, but if we re-release it as PG-13, will it make more?
Uh-huh.
You know, and it's like now all these kids can see it. But I think it's going to be a backstep, because how much did Ryan Reynolds have to fight to make it an R film?
Yeah.
Because they're like, it's a superhero film. Why wouldn't you make it where kids can see it?
Right.
Teenagers.
I get what you're saying. It's kind of stepping on the whole point of the Deadpool movie in general.
That's right.
What he's got to make a joke about it, right?
I don't know what's happening.
They have to add in a scene where Deadpool's like...
I think at this point...
yeah, okay, so the scene where he's having sex or whatever...
Dude, they have to cut all that out.
No, they'll just have like a Deadpool on screen, and he'll be like, I'm Deadpool, and you can't see this part because this is PG-13.
What about when Ryan Reynolds goes up to take a piss and his just ass is hanging out of his Christmas sweater?
Do they do that?
Yeah, and then he's like, that's when he discovers he has cancer.
Then just, Deadpool has cancer?
Mm-hmm.
Is that part of his story?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really quick, just so you know. He's a mercenary, right? Finally finds somebody he loves.
I know he got burned.
And then, well, hold on. In the movie, he gets cancer.
Okay.
All these tumors are growing in his head.
Okay.
And then he gets approached by somebody who tells him, hey, I can fix all this crap in your head.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, but it's this extreme experimental stuff. Turns out the whole thing was BS. It was bullshit. And they were just experimenting on him. And they turned him into Deadpool. Because they're like, F you.
He didn't have cancer?
He did have cancer.
Okay.
But because he heals,
uh-huh,
he is constantly healing those tumors as they grow.
Okay.
So that keeps him alive.
So they took the cancer out?
No.
Okay.
Cancer is, as fast as it grows, it's healing it.
Okay.
So it keeps it at this weird equilibrium.
Is he going to die eventually?
No, because he just heals.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Now, here's the other thing. In part 2,
uh-huh,
they put these collars on mutants. Well, oh, wait, not mutants, sorry, metahumans.
Uh-huh.
To stop their powers.
Metahumans?
Well, I don't know what they call them in the movie.
They call them bang.
They're these collars that make them stop using their powers. So they can't use their powers while they have these collars on. So when they slap one on Deadpool, he's like, well, I'm just going to be over here dying. Uh-huh. And he can't fight, he can't do anything.
Because of the cancer.
Because of the cancer.
Okay, I see.
So it's still there.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
A little more than I wanted to know about Deadpool.
I know how much you love Deadpool.
Thank you, though. Thank you for that backstory.
But anyway, as going back to the Venom thing, I think it's going to suck because the company is going to look at these things and be like, we're done. This is it. We tried it again, and we had a big star. What's his name?
Tom Hardy, yeah.
Right? I think it's Holland or something. I don't remember
Holland
his
is Spider-Man. Tom Holland is Spider-Man.
Well, the guy who plays, he's a big time. Harley.
It's Hardy, isn't it?
Hardy.
Tom Hardy. That's Venom.
I don't think it is, Steve.
Oh
I'm gonna look it up. But anyway.
What?
It is Tom Hardy. You're right.
Anyway.
Tom Hardy, like, he's a big star. Like, he's a huge star. And he was all in and was like, we're going to make the best Venom film ever. But if this is how it's coming out, they're just like, we're done. We're not doing this anymore.
That's great news. Then fucking give the rights back.
I mean, DC has already all but abandoned theirs. I mean, they took out Supes, you know, and they're losing Batfleck. They're recasting. That was the other thing. Remember I told you that Harley Quinn is being recast?
Kaylee Cuoco.
Yeah, it's going to be the new Harley in the DC universe. And I'm
that's cool.
But why?
Is that cool?
Why? No, I don't think it's cool. I don't think she's like. I don't think she has the chops for it. I mean, I hope I'm wrong because I liked her in The Big Bang Theory. I hope all the best for her, and I hope I'm really wrong. But like, I don't see that working.
So they said, you know what? Our last Harley Quinn,
Margot Robbie.
She said it wasn't good enough. We're gonna get a.
Dude, she was fantastic.
We're gonna get a television actor. All right, that's our next move. We're gonna get a television.
She wants to get in TV. You want to get into the TV biz? You got to hire a TV lady. But we're in the movies. It's okay.
What is? It's gonna be a Harley Quinn movie.
I don't know what they're doing, but like, think about it this way: they're doing that new Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix. Did you see the photo of that?
Okay, I saw the photo.
Okay.
All right. I don't know what the teaser was. The teaser was like him. The teaser was him standing there.
Right.
And then it flashes and it's him in makeup, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So somebody found set footage.
Right. Where he's like walking out of a subway.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
I thought that was the trailer. And I was sitting there watching audio-less footage. Just silent footage for like 3 minutes. And I was like...
Is this a trailer?
Yeah, I was like, what is happening here? Is this a... Are they trying to be like super fucking crazy? Is there something I'm not getting? And I scroll down to the comments and they're just like, this is just found footage, so don't label this as a trailer, please, or the teaser, because it's not. And I was honestly, in my head, I was like, DC just fucking lost their minds and they don't know what to do anymore. They're just like, just do this. Let's just do something even more insane. Whatever. Fucking.
Here's the thing, right?
You like how it looks?
Well, no. Here's the thing. Okay, here's what's happening, right? They've tried to do the Joker a couple different ways in the last few years. I think most people will. I think most people will agree that the Dark Knight's Joker, which is what's
Heath
his
Ledger.
name?
Keith
Christopher Nolan. His is pretty great. Now, what was great about that one? It was pretty much an original story. Mm-hmm. There was nothing really pulled from the comics, not as far as I know. But this one in particular, it feels like they're gonna follow. It sounds like it looks like they're gonna follow some sort of Killing Joke.
I don't know.
Because like I haven't read too much about the story or anything, but the way that trailer was presented and everything, the flashing lights of it and everything, he was like on some sort of set and it looked like he was about to do a show. So I'm like, oh, is this the whole thing where he's gonna try to be a stand-up act, and then it fails, so he goes kind of insane?
I read a lot of Joker comics, so they all kind of blend together.
Yeah.
But I know at one point he was a stand-up comedian. He had an act that was called the Red Hood or something. Mm-hmm. And once he got into like some gambling debt or something, and they threw his ass into the tank.
Right.
And that's how he became the Joker.
Right, yeah.
I believe that's the Killing Joke.
No, the Killing Joke is the one where he's a failed stand-up comic.
That's the one I just said.
And he gets thrown into a vat of acid?
Or something like that, yeah, because that's where that fucking image that everybody loves comes from. The panel of him with all the ha-ha-has behind him holding his
head?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think they also mentioned him as the Red Hood in that one, which is like confusing as fuck because apparently there's another villain called the Red Hood later on in the Batman universe or something.
Right, yeah.
So I don't understand what the fuck they're doing.
Well, I'm saying that they're following it, but I don't know if they're going to throw him into a vat of acid and make it like supernatural, or like not supernatural, but like a little extraordinary.
Uh-huh.
I think it's literally just going to be him as a failed comic book, or like a failed comic, and he just starts to kill.
What I honestly think happened, this is my theory. Okay. They were filming The Dark Knight. It was going really great. Heath Ledger dies out of nowhere, and everyone is just like, what the fuck do we do now? This guy was so great. Like, big shoes to fill, not just because he's a clown. Quite literally, big shoes to fill, like, how are we going to...
Are you good with that joke? You good with that joke?
Yeah,
all right, we're keeping that? All right, I'm going to mark it.
Oh, yeah.
We're good with that joke, everybody.
No, seriously, though. Like, because from what I heard, like, they had plans for Joker, like, even at the beginning of the next movie, at Dark Knight Rises. But he fucking died, so it's like, what do we do now? Like...
but I mean, I don't follow the logic, because the next time they try out the Joker, it's Jared Leto in Suicide Squad.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
why even put, like, they already had pretty much the definitive Joker there. Why would they try to go back and be like, well, there's going to be a Joker in this one too? It's like, why attach Joker to so many things? It's like you're overusing him, and it's like it's not as potent when you have a Joker in every third movie you make.
It's really hard actually to say, because like it's like that thing with like musicians too, where it's like they die and they get more famous because of their death. It's like it was like the same effect with Heath Ledger. So it's like, I wonder if he had stayed alive, if people would have been a little more critical of his performance, Mm-hmm. And then, maybe he wouldn't have been such a... I mean, Joker's still a big deal regardless. I know that. But,
sure.
Maybe it would have been this thing where the people are just like, nah, that Joker is Heath Ledger, dude. Don't fuck with him, And it's like...
Yeah, it would have been more of a Jack Nicholson thing where they're like, that's the definitive...
Yeah, Joker, and it's like, instead of them being like, hey, you know what? We got to find some way to bring Joker back. Let's just make this fucking movie where he's younger or whatever.
Yeah, I think they were planning to be like, oh, look, this is our new version of Joker. Maybe he'll carry a couple films with him. But it's like... The Jared Leto one fell flat either because his performance wasn't that good, or I mean, they took most of it out of the Suicide Squad movie.
It was.
But at that point, I was like, why did you even include it? I don't know.
That movie was horrible for other reasons. The editing apparently was bad, and there was a bunch of reshoots. The writing was bad. Whatever. It's a fucking bombshell. We should watch it, honestly, at some point.
Oh my god.
We should, because it's fucking terrible. So we got to watch it. I mean,
apparently so. But then they got so they're gonna have Jared Leto. By the way, he's gonna make another appearance. Jared Leto's gonna make another appearance somewhere, and then they're gonna have Joaquin Phoenix take it. I think they're gonna. By the way, this Joaquin Phoenix one is set like in the 80s, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's gonna be way more like
those are the only
set
two?
In time.
I thought there was another one.
There is another one.
Jared Leto's getting his own film or no?
Yeah, he's getting his own film.
Okay, and then Joaquin Phoenix. I thought there was another one or something. I remember hearing something about another.
Well, no, sorry, not. Jared Leto's getting. I think it's gonna be like a Suicide Squad 2 scenario.
Oh, okay. So there's another Joker movie, the Mob Boss one. Which is the Mob Boss one?
Is that? Oh my gosh, this is so confusing.
Yeah, because it's. I don't understand the plan or the timeline of this, but whatever. Like.
I just know that Joaquin Phoenix's one is coming out before any of these other ones. Also, I used to watch this show called Gotham.
Okay.
And I stopped watching because
you made it sound like nobody knows what that is.
No. I know it's like it was good when it first started, but then when we started going into season 2, they were like, when they first started the series, like, this is going to be about Gotham PD. Mm-hmm. It's not about Bruce. It's not about Batman and Joker and blah, blah, blah.
And then, like, season 2, they're like, hey, who's this kid?
Hey.
Maybe he's Bruce?
Oh, my gosh, he's already training, guys. He's already training to be Batman. It was like, God, are we going to see, like, a little kid throw on a cowl and just start being Batman? It seems so... But they can't help themselves. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, they're going to have the Joker in there.
That's the best way to put it, honestly, is that, like, they can't help... They always have to... use this crutch of like, oh, it's a Joker, or it's like, oh, it's Batman.
And by the way, I know we talked about this already in another podcast, but I remember seeing the Titans. Remember the Titans TV series that's going to come out?
Yeah.
Could have sworn I saw Joker in there. Because there was a part where there's just this guy. He's got kind of a white face and green hair, and he smiles.
Uh-huh.
He's like, yeah, and I was like, oh. that was there for like 2 seconds. I was like, didn't look like Beast Boy. So who the hell would it be? And you got this movie where Robin comes out and he's like, it was Batman. And he goes, fuck Batman.
Yeah.
Well,
the Teen Titans cartoon, it was like Slade was his dude, right?
Right. And they had mentions of other DC characters, but it was like they stood on their own. That's what I really liked about that show.
What's Deadpool's name?
Wade Wilson.
Because Slade's name is Slade Wilson, right? He's like a parody of him or something?
Yeah, because they have similar faces and everything.
There you go. I brought it back. I looped it back around to your favorite character, to your boy.
Okay, yeah. Why do you always say that like it's my favorite character? What? Just because I like the movies, all of a sudden he's like the other day, Steven just comes around. He's like, "Hey, I got you a sticker. It's your boy," and it's like Deadpool. It was like
you liked it though.
I did, but you gave me a bunch of Spider-Man stuff too. But you didn't give me crap about that. You just like, "Here's your boy."
Because I love Spidey. I already told you that Spidey is like. He's a wholesome, family-loving dude. How do you resist Spider-Man? You can't.
You don't.
You love it.
But like, why do you keep throwing Deadpool in my face like it sucks?
All right, sorry. Anyway, I don't know if you guys heard about this. I don't know if you heard about this, Ernie. I think you did. Disney's got big plans. Oh
my god.
They got big plans. Let me tell you. They said, hey. You know that movie Lilo and Stitch?
That you all love?
That great fucking flawless movie that you all love? We're going to make it real.
Oh,
boy.
Stitch and RL?
Yeah.
They're going to have Lindsay Lohan play Lilo.
I can't help... I don't know if you've noticed. Maybe it's just because I follow a lot of artists. Mm-hmm. Everyone that I'm seeing react to this announcement is like, why?
That's the big question.
Like, why are you doing this? This is the stupidest fucking decision.
This is a little biased, right? But when I first saw that announcement, I was like, please don't, because I mean it's Disney. They can do whatever they want with their franchises. They own the place. I don't have any ownership on it. I get it. But it's a good movie. It was a standalone, and they tried so many things with it that flopped, like the little cartoon series.
Well, there was two other movies
that were just awful.
Yeah.
I was like, just leave it alone. Like that movie is a standalone, great movie, you know. And now they're gonna try to make it in real life or in art, and they're gonna do a live action. The one thing they're gonna mess up is that like Stitch is gonna be CG,
right?
And it's just like CG with live action people in it, and I'm like. They've done this with like Beauty and the Beast. They've done this with what's the other one? It was with the Jungle Book. They did it with like
Book, those Cinderella.
Yeah, and by the way, they're making it again. They're making another movie called Mowgli.
Really?
And Benedict Cumberbatch is in it.
Really?
Yeah, he plays Shere Khan.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's just like all these live action films is like, why are you making them live action? Because all these other ones that were like, for example, the Beauty and the Beast one. I don't know how well it did, but I know that like people didn't like it.
That movie did phenomenal.
But people didn't necessarily like it.
People love that movie.
Really?
Dude, that movie was in theaters for like 5 years. I remember passing by the same theater and like, when the fuck is this movie going to be out of theaters? Beauty and the Beast, obviously, right, is a huge movie.
Yeah.
When it came out, I didn't know this actually. When the movie first came out, it won Best Picture. Mm-hmm. There was no category. It was just Best Picture. Like,
I know one Best Special Effects.
When the fuck has that ever happened with an animated film? That movie was historical. It's a great movie. I love that movie.
Oh yeah,
a lot. Good movie. Beast is my favorite, like one of my favorite Disney characters. Honestly, he's fucking amazing. And it also like, if you don't know, it was a starting point for a lot of people. Like Chris Sanders was working on it. You know, it's like Aaron Blaise, Eric Goldberg. A lot of the fucking Disney guys worked on it. The good ones, right?
Right.
It's a great movie. Live action version of it, they just got people with like the nostalgia of it, you know? Like it's just so I'm pretty sure they're hoping the same thing with this one, you know? Like
well, they did a thing where they were just like, let's get somebody who's a really great female lead and we're going to stick her in almost the same story, but we're going to try to update it with a little PC culture, all that kind of crap. And it's like,
are you telling me that Lilo and Stitch is not PC?
I'm telling you they're going to PC it up even more. You know what I mean? Like Nani is gonna be like feminist, or they'll have her like super PC, and she's just like
her head's gonna be shaved.
Okay, oh my gosh,
she's gonna be all pink, and she's gonna be like, "Fuck, man." And that's going to be...
They're going to take the Elvis thing out.
Yeah.
They are. I guarantee you they're going to take the Elvis thing out.
Why would they do that?
Because they're going to take it... I don't know why. I think somebody's going to have a problem with it. They're going to take it out.
Instead of Elvis, they're going to be into like Post Malone. They're gonna be into like all the current shit, all the stuff that people
see. That's the kind of stuff that I know they're gonna take out because they're like, well, we could just swap this out with something else. Because first of all, licensing Elvis music and stuff like that, I'm sure was super expensive. Okay. But like they'll try to update it. They'll try to make it cool. They'll try to like.
I don't.
The charm of that movie. The charm of that movie is like you're in Hawaii.
I was gonna say honestly,
Elvis is forever in Hawaii.
I'm not even sure that Elvis music was that expensive.
Really?
Is Elvis big in Hawaii? I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude.
Really?
That the movie he did there.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I'm seriously unaware of this. Like, I know a lot about musicians.
That's one of his big movies.
But I was seriously unaware. Okay, that's cool.
But like, it feels like if you're gonna license the Elvis, like, when's the last time you heard an Elvis song? Mm-hmm. Like in a car commercial or anything like that? You never.
Ocean's 11. They put a little less conversation.
Yeah, in the big budget movie, yes.
It was a remix.
Well, there you go. But it's like whenever they have a Vegas movie, they use that clip, right? But like, when's the last time outside of that?
I know, I get you. Well, whatever. It sounds like a fucking bomb. Well, I don't understand.
Sounds like another Venom?
Pretty much, man. I mean, I know they're doing Mulan too, and Mulan is like already cast or something.
Oh my gosh.
So whatever. I mean.
They probably didn't cast.
Even like Mulan is a bit more like, okay, not a lot of supernatural shit going on in Mulan, you know, like
right,
like Lilo and Stitch is like
space.
There's aliens, like there's Plinkly.
I'm telling you, it's gonna look. It's
Jumba, and there's fucking huge.
It's gonna be a bunch of like CG stuff combined with live action stuff, and as much as we get further and further into CG, I feel like I don't know. Stitch is gonna look. I know exactly what like in my head. I know exactly what he's gonna look like because he has to look like realistic to be across. Like he's gonna have fur, like real ass, like some Maya fur that like moves with the light and stuff, and it's gonna look weird.
He's gonna have more
having him sitting next to like a real life Nani.
He's gonna have more eyelids than he should. He's gonna have like side ones, and then he's gonna have up and down ones.
And you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna give him real eyes.
You think so?
No, because in the movie he just has those black, like, eyeballs. And this one they're going to actually give him like irises and stuff. So you could feel sorry for him, and it's going to be all like, look at those big old Disney eyes.
Right, it's going to be great. You know what really bothers me about this though is that like the mentality that they're putting into people's heads, which is like, hey, Beauty and the Beast was old. We not like rebooted it, where they're like, we updated it, you know? God. Like, oh, this is the better version now. Like that cartoon you saw as a kid, it was like, no, this is the best we could do at the time. Now, now we have better tools, and now we have Emma Watson. Like, it just seems so like, do you guys know what fucking started your company? Do you guys know how you got to where you're at? It was with artists, like, telling a story, cartoons, like.
And what's the sad thing is like Beauty and the Beast threw everything they had at that because there are some like AAA stars in that movie.
Yeah, so
including Ian McKellen.
Yeah, the woman that sang the Beauty and the Beast thing in the original, she's in the new one, and she's like fucking 200 years old. She's like being held up by strings, and is somehow
talk about Miss Potts.
Yeah, she's like still singing like. They got her, and like people weren't expecting that or something. They were just like, she's too old. We got
her, guys. We got her.
Yeah, we dug her up. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my gosh,
that's disrespectful.
Oh, and they're also. I mean, we're getting close to the end, so I don't want to talk too much Disney because we've already hit it twice. But they're remaking Mary Poppins, or they remade it.
Really?
It's gonna come out soon.
It's already done.
It's already done. There's a trailer, and it's going up. I think it's sometime in Christmas, but like, that's a movie that I think could work on the flip side, because I don't want to be super negative about Disney the entire podcast.
I do. No, I know what you're talking about, because that's like real actors, it's like wait, is Mary Poppins the one that
Mary Poppins is the story of this nanny that comes down and tries to get this workaholic dad to spend time with his kids.
What's the one where they're like dancing with cartoons?
That's it?
Yeah. How are they gonna do that?
What do you mean?
How are they gonna do that? They don't.
What do you mean? They're gonna do? They showed it in the trailer. They're doing it.
They don't do cartoons anymore. How are they gonna do that?
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But it's like CG, but it's flat CG, so it looks like 2D.
Yeah.
No, they already have this lady cast. She looks quite like Mary Poppins, and it's crazy because it's like
her, but
the story is that the kids that grew up with Mary Poppins, like whatever, they're now like the dad's now a workaholic, and he's about to lose his job and everything, and she comes back down, and she's just like, I'm back to take care of the children, and the old guy's all like. Or the kid that grew up with her, he's like the adult now. He goes like, "You haven't aged a bit." He's like, "I didn't teach you to ask about a woman's age." Blah blah blah. So she's still kind of like she's still got that edge.
She's still like old timey.
Mm-hmm. And then there's still like a Bert that like goes, "Hello, Mary Poppins," and all that kind of stuff. There's one of those, and they're flying. They're going into cartoons and stuff. It's crazy.
They should update it. Be a little more PC. You know what?
It takes place.
Why Mary Poppins? Why not Gary Poppins? Huh?
It's because it's a direct sequel.
Make it his son. Make it her son. You know?
It's a direct sequel, so that means that it's like 20 to 30 years into the future.
Okay. See, I don't know anything about Mary Poppins.
You've never seen that movie?
If you could explain to me why she doesn't age.
Because she's supernatural, dude. She lives on a cloud.
Does she have cancer? Do they do experiments on her?
No, she lives on a cloud. Okay. She has magic powers.
That is okay. Sure. Well, alrighty.
She can make you fly.
Really?
She also like cleans up your house without moving a finger.
Uh-huh.
She brings you into cartoon paintings in the park. And she can also fly by picking up her...
Yeah. I don't know if it's dawned on you, but I've never seen that movie before. It sounds cool though.
It's a really good Disney movie.
I do remember.
I think this is what they're gonna. I think this is a possible place where Disney will knock it out of the park because it's still not set in present times.
Okay.
So there's a bit of leniency in like we don't have to be that PC because it's not exactly the 90s or anything. Now when people start to kind of turn and women like all this other because if you in the original.
Yeah, not the offensive 90s. The good old clean 50s.
No. What I mean is, like, first of all, it's in London.
Okay.
But, like, what I mean is that, like, there was some progressions in the 90s. Mm-hmm. But at the time of the first Mary Poppins, the wife of the father...
Yeah.
Or the wife... Yeah, the wife of the husband she's trying to get votes for women. Okay. Like she's kind of already a feminist. She's all like, we deserve the right to vote, and she fights for it, and she wears banners that says women deserve the right to vote, all that kind of stuff. So there's not a lot of updating to do in this because it's still like 20 years later. There's some progress, blah blah blah. But I feel like the message of the original Mary Poppins to be like it's your family. Family's very important. I think those movies do the best, which is why I love Lilo and Stitch. It's about family.
Right.
It's little. It's broken.
Right.
Still good.
Ohana means money. Am I right? That's why they're doing this thing.
Yes, they are.
No, you know what? I will take solace in the fact that pretty sure Pixar movies are safe from this. Because
for the most part, yes.
From what it seems like, Pixar movies are usually like home runs, right? Original concepts.
Right.
Whereas like Disney stuff is like rehashing old fairy tales or using something that isn't their source material basically and just kind of like Disneyfying it or whatever, right? With the exception of like Wreck-It Ralph, I think. Wreck-It Ralph is like their... And like... That's honestly the other reason Lilo and Stitch is so fucking good, because it's like, it's just Chris Sanders' like little mind baby that he had like in his head for the longest time, and they just allowed him to do it after he fucking was storyboarding all these other movies for them, and then like he finally got to make his own picture, and it's like, it's great because it's its own unique thing. There will never be anything else like it,
I think Chris Sanders had a really nice story that he wanted to tell. Mm-hmm. And it shows through the work. But, like, what I was going to say is, like, Pixar, for the most part, is by itself. But I think they have some sort of influence over, like, the next story that you're gonna do has to deal with this or has to deal with this.
Oh, okay,
kind
I
of
see.
thing.
I just hope in like 20 years we don't see the live action Incredibles, because that would just be like...
You know what I don't want to see? I don't want to see a live action Coco.
Okay.
Because that movie did really well.
Did it do well?
Yeah, it did well.
I was telling my mom this the other day. Our mom, I should say. Movies just bomb on Thanksgiving. Movies like don't do well on Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving Day, you mean?
Just that time frame.
Well, because everybody's out shopping.
Tomorrow.
No, I'll say this. December, like the next month, films do really well.
Well, okay, Tomorrowland
Uh-huh.
did terrible. And you know how they always say, like, opening weekend is the best one. It'll never catch fire after that.
Yeah.
Tomorrowland did horrible, okay? The year after that, it was The Good Dinosaur. No one saw that shit.
Nobody saw that.
And then, like,
was one of the... Wasn't it a Pixar film?
Yeah. And then, like, the year after that, it was Coco. Mm-hmm. But apparently Coco did really well. So, I don't know what the fuck they did. Maybe it's because they stuck that Frozen short before it.
Maybe.
Or something. But I told you when I watched it, too, in theaters, they played that Frozen short. They played this weird behind-the-scenes thing before the movie came on. And I was like, do they have zero confidence in this movie? Is that what's going on here?
They did the same thing in front of Incredibles 2.
Yeah, I mean, but Incredibles 2 was like, it was already in the bag. People knew that it was going to make money. There was no debate about that. Like,
it's true.
They kept hyping up the fact that it's like, when people were kids, they saw the first one, and now they're man children, and they can see.
Now they're 14.
Now they can see the second one and all its glory and all its.
It was worth the wait, guys.
It was boy, it was not worth the wait. Thank you for that, Sam Jackson. Before the movie.
Thanks, Samuel.
Jesus Christ, what a fucking strange movie. What's happened? God, I don't even want to talk about that. All right, I'm actually surprised it's not on Blu-ray yet.
That is surprising.
Because, what movie was it? Jurassic Park?
Mm-hmm.
That's already on Blu-ray. Do you know that?
Deadpool 2 is already on. That came out way after, too.
Did it?
Mm-hmm.
All I know is Jurassic World came out like 2 months ago.
Wow.
And it's already on Blu-ray, and I'm like, what the fuck?
They gotta get that out.
Yeah, are you serious? But yeah. I'm pretty much done with the topics for today. I'm wrapped up. I'm angry now. I'm quite frankly.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I'm
as
pissed.
far as recaps go, I mean, it's pretty solid. It's like the only positive one that I think, like, I'm making a call that I think Mary Poppins will do really good.
Okay.
But aside from that, all these other things like Venom, and what we were just talking about, Lilo and Stitch, live action. All these things, like, they have the stink of something that's gonna bomb because they're gonna miss what made the original great, because they're like, well, we already have the story, let's just fill it with a bunch of other stuff so we can make it politically correct.
What did you mean by Venom, the original?
No, I meant I meant Lilo and Stitch, the original.
I thought you meant when he was blue. Remember how he used to have like that blue lighting on him in the cartoon?
That was like Capcom drawing style.
No, Capcom, he was literally just blue.
Yeah.
In like Marvel's Capcom.
He was blue. He looked dope.
But in the cartoon, he used to have like, he was all black, but he had like blue lighting on him.
He had a blue shine to him.
Yeah. Do that.
But anyway.
What are you doing, guys? Do that. Come on. Before we wrap this up real fast, did you know that was going to be Spider-Man 4? There was supposed to be a Spider-Man 4 with that Sam Raimi.
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and apparently he was going to do the Vulture.
Well, that's dumb.
And he wanted to make it, in his own words, the best Spider-Man film ever. Because
why didn't he make the third one that?
Exactly, because the studio had pressured him to put Venom in. And we all know how that turned out, right? So,
turned out great.
Yeah.
Topher Grace is a legend.
Yeah, I saw this little video on it. If you guys want to look it up, it's like Spider-Man 4 canceled or something. This guy has this whole line of videos called Canceled. Yeah, I if I was more prepared, I would have told you the YouTube channel. But anyway, yeah. But that's it for this week, guys. See you next week.
See you next week, guys.